What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC podcast. You guys are hanging with the Dudes in Blue. Welcome to episode number 96. 96, and we're live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. Dude, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dude. It is indeed my birthday, and I appreciate the wishes right off the bat. Hi, Coco. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. You're awesome. We got Jorge coming in saying, hey. We got Stephen Park. Sorry, Stephen. We got a couple of Stevens. Steven saying hi. A couple of regulars. What's going on, guys? There's the other Steven. What's up? Happy birthday. We got the happy birthdays coming in. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's Monday night, April 2nd. It's my birthday today. Tomorrow it's Antonino's birthday. So happy early birthday, dude.
Thank you, sir.
So, guys, start saying hi. Let us know where you're from. Share this video. Smash the like button. You know what to do. We're live for episode 96. We really do appreciate you guys spending your Monday evening with us. We've got a good show for you. We've got a good game to go over. Some other conversation pieces that I'm sure are going to arise through this. Some input from you guys in the comments. And, yeah, we're just going to have a good show, dude. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Ready to go.
I didn't think – so, you know, Kara said to me, she was like, are you doing a show Monday night? And I was like, why? She goes, well, it's your birthday. I'm like, yeah. Go on.
And?
Point being. So, anyway, yeah, so we are here. It's our birthday week, and there's like no better way to spend a birthday night than talking with the NYCFC faithful of the Dudes in Blue clan.
It's like a big birthday party.
It's like a gigantic birthday, but nobody brought the cake.
Yet.
It could still happen. It could still happen. All right, so we're gonna let's talk about, let's get right into it, dude. Let's get into the San Jose match from over the weekend. NYCFC traveled to Avaya Stadium, walked away with 3 points in what didn't really start as the best match.
No,
in so many respects.
This is 2 matches in a row where the first half has been very much stuttering out of the gates. Really, just not solid play. No cohesion. You've got people making simple mistakes, getting rid of the ball. First touches were absolutely atrocious for a majority of this game from everybody. So, again, it's good teams are going to find ways to, minimize these starts and the bad things that happen. And luckily for us, we have enough character and fight in us to come back from, these early mishaps.
Yeah, these are 2 come from behind kind of catch-ups. This one ultimately led to the victory last week against New England. Didn't turn out that way, but certainly a very similar start where we just couldn't get the game kind of in our favor. It started off right off the bat. 3rd minute, San Jose wins a corner and ultimately converts it into a goal. But before we even get into that, dude, we were watching them walk out live on Periscope, and we were like, was that Maxime Chanot wearing the captain's armband? Like, nobody knew that David Villa was not playing. And up until the walkout, everybody thought he was playing. So, yeah. Right off the bat, you talk about lack of cohesion, missing your star player and your captain literally minutes before kickoff. That's enough to kind of rattle the cage a little bit.
I think so, especially with the guys that have to be slotted in different spots and, fill in and whatnot. You probably don't warm up exactly the same way as a starter would when you first get out on the field. So, much like a pitcher who gets thrown in without any warm up pitches, it's a little difficult. You're thrown into a situation where, you've got to get in your mindset where I'm not coming in off the bench. I'm playing, I'm starting. I have to be ready now. I've got to get used to everybody around me. Everybody's got to get used to the thought of me playing instead of David. So again, it happens. It happens more often than not. You see quite a few knocks in warm-ups, and they're usually nothing serious, but it's enough to warrant leaving the field and being treated just as a precaution.
Yeah, again, mainly the guy that was I guess there's a couple guys that are affected by this. The whole team's affected by it in some
Oh, yeah.
capacity, right?
Sure,
But
sure.
you have a guy in Joinga Birgit. Are we going to stick with Joinga Birgit? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, I mean, you can't call him. I mean, we can start calling him Cement Touch, but I don't. I don't
Yeah.
think so. Like that very much.
So guys, start commenting about Joinga Birgit's Joinga Birgit.
And
Joinga
keep it nice, please.
Yes, let us know what you thought about Joing Birgit's
in the nicest way possible.
In the nicest way possible, we want to know. Dude, I'm sorry. It's been 2 matches now. He's gotten the start in both, and I don't see it. I feel remnants of Kyrie Shelton a little bit in the not necessarily knowing what to do when I get the ball, not being confident when I get the ball around the box. The touch wasn't there. Just not, he found himself in a good spot. Ultimately, probably could have headed the ball off of the cross, right? That opportunity that he had, but instead tried to trap it and then awkwardly kicked it right into the defender. Just an awkward match. He looked awkward.
Yeah, he looked awkward both games. But again, it's very hard for me to judge people based on 2 games early in the season when you didn't have any training. You're coming off of an injury. All these things are kind of adding up to like the perfect storm, really, to allow yourself to really just be, you're being scrutinized. You're underneath a huge magnifying glass. And it's difficult. And listen, at certain points, you feel like you're in quicksand. And the more you try to dig yourself out, the more things you try to do right, the more things go wrong. So at this point, I'm thinking it's a confidence thing. It's in his head, and he needs a little bit more time to get acclimated. But again, how long do you really want to give a guy, a leash? How long are you willing to wait before you see what he really can do? I don't think he's a winger. I think he's a straight up David Villa replacement. But if you're expecting David Villa to come on for David Villa, like that type of player, that's not what you're going to get. You're going to get this guy's a target guy who's a strong guy. You can't really knock him off the ball. Apparently, you can beat him in aerial duels wherever you want, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. But he's the type of guy where you're going to get him a pass in the box and he's going to kick it in. He's not going to be a guy to carry it. He's not that doesn't do what David Villa does. So for this team, starting wise, that's a little difficult to do when you want everybody moving forward. It's very hard for us to have that one guy singled out in order to do that with when all the pieces are moving. And when he's moving, he's not at his best. So for me, if you're going to see him, I want to see him as a substitute with substitute minutes late in the game and him being the target guy in the middle of the field. Don't give him the sides, give him the middle, and let him try to do what he's used to doing. Otherwise, we're just going to get more of the same unless he can magically turn it around.
Dude, it's kind of like Shawn Okoli a little bit, dude, in that when Birgit has his back against the goal, he's virtually useless, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I think we spent most of that game with our backs to the net, and I think the team as a whole, when we were facing, trying to hold up play, very, very poor at it. I mean, anytime we had our backs facing the net, play completely stopped. It was more of the counter, the running up the field and people getting open. That was more our game. And just we have our backs to the net, it like stifles any momentum moving forward. It's really, really bad. I can see you could do it once in a while when you're deep in their third, but in the middle of the field, it's very detrimental.
Yeah, Jorge is saying, was it me or was he being thrown around? I don't necessarily think he was being thrown around. I just think that he wasn't.
He's just not comfortable yet.
Yeah,
He's just not comfortable yet.
He just looks awkward. Like it's not. He didn't look like he belonged there. Maybe it's because he wears his socks by his ankles.
I was just going to say, he's the only guy who wears his socks that low, and it makes his knees look awkward, and he's like a baby deer running around.
He's like a baby deer. Oh, my God. He's a Viking deer. But I don't know. Listen, he's thrown into a situation where, yes, he had come off from some injury and illness, whatever that might have been, and he's thrown into a spot. But dude, same thing could be said about Tinnerholm. Tinnerholm came off of injury. We weren't 100% sure if he was going to be playing or not. And then he comes in and scores an absolute golazo. Had the opposite effect on him, essentially. So it's like, does it just come down to the player and the players that are around you that you just don't gel, or is it just did he crumble under the pressure? Because dude, he had some opportunities to carry the ball, but the ball, I feel like he was stumbling over the ball. Like he had zero control over that ball.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing. I think comparing Tinnerholm and Birgit together is difficult because Tinnerholm's style of play fits the squad. Overlapping runs, the getting deep in the zone, the creating chances. That's what he does. And he had games to play before. I know he was hurt, but he also had a training camp to go to. Birgit didn't really have that. So, again, he's missing a little bit more, but for me, the touch has to get better first and foremost. I don't care if you don't score. His dummy runs and his runs into play are pretty good. I don't mind those because they do create space for everyone else. It just comes down to the fact that when you do have the ball at your feet, you have to be able to control it. So number one, first and foremost for me, is you have to be able to control the ball. First touch is huge. Where you go from there, you can improve, but I think you can't improve finishing if you're losing the ball in the middle of the field. You have to be able to get there somehow. So you got to work baby steps.
John Levin says he runs like a drunk ostrich. It's painful to watch. That's an interesting.
That is a great description.
Really funny analogy. But Eric is saying, I get the pressure, but he is a professional. He should be ready to be thrown into matches. He did absolutely nothing for 2 games, and then.
Yeah, but that's like if I put you in a new job after 2 days, are you going to know what to do?
Dude, you're a soccer player. Like, you're professionally.
I understand that, but you play with 10 other guys.
Let me spin it this way. If you're the striker, right? And let's say we didn't walk away with a result in either of those games, and we didn't score 2 goals from players that had absolutely nothing to do with Joey Brigette. You'd probably be having a different conversation about the guy in that he's your striker. He's supposed to be the target guy. The ball's not getting to him. He can't do anything with it. If we didn't get the results, I think the conversation would be even more negative about Birgit had we not won.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, but that's for everybody. Everybody usually gets picked on when the team doesn't win because it's not just one thing that causes the team to lose. When this team loses, it's a collective team effort where everyone's playing like absolute garbage.
Well, fortunately, we haven't come up.
We haven't had that happen yet, which is great, which is fantastic.
But again, you've got players that are around. Again, if that was David Villa in that situation, we wouldn't be having this conversation about David Villa, whether Villa had a good game or not, because the players around him were pretty much on point when it came to pretty much for the second half of the game. I just think, I don't think he fits based on the 2 matches. I mean, he's had plenty of opportunities to show us something that he can do, and he really just hasn't shown anything that is of value in contributing to the hold-up play, or it's just not there for me.
Yeah, listen, I agree, and I'm just not ready to write him off just yet.
That's fine. That's
it.
We'll talk
because you know what?
Until next week.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, I've seen David Villa have two bad games in a row before where he hasn't been able to do anything. And you know what? He gets in his fits where he kicks the ball wide all the time.
We've had our complaints about him too.
Absolutely. So all I'm saying is that you're not getting the same guy, so you've got to look at it a little bit differently, and you have to just be a little patient. Because listen, if you were patient during preseason when everybody was playing the way they were and they weren't getting the results,
Pee-wee soccer.
You've got to remember that it's still fresh for a couple of guys who didn't get the chance. Ofori, Birgit, these guys didn't get their minutes in, so I'm going to give them a little bit more leeway for now. Listen, middle of the season, if they haven't done anything, yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to admit that it's probably not the best fit. But again, now I'm going to count on the manager a little bit here and be like, listen, Patrick, you've got this guy that plays a certain way and you want him to excel. You've got to kind of put him in that role. You have to make that role available to him. And if you're asking the guy to do something different and expecting a great result, that's a little bit, I think, what we're getting into here. We're getting into what are you asking of your players? When you put Tommy McNamara in the midfield and you expect a certain play out of him, when you know he's better suited as a left winger getting forward, are you really going to be able to get mad at the guy for having a bad game because his style of play doesn't really fit there?
No,
So
but I
it's the
will
same
get
thing.
mad if you have 3 bad games or 4 bad games or 5
Sure,
bad appearances.
sure. And then I'm
Right?
also going to be mad that you're not replacing him with a person who deserves minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. We got a couple comments here. Daniel Patrick coming in a little late. What's going on, buddy? Coco is saying he had 2 bad games. I want to stay optimistic and say it's unfortunate that those were his only 2 games. If we're having the same conversation in a few weeks, then it becomes a problem. That's 100%
Sure,
true.
sure.
Steven is saying, okay. Let's be patient with Brigette. Let's give him another chance. So I feel like we're harping on a lot of negative so far in the conversation. Meanwhile, we took away 3 points from San Jose on the road. Aside from that, I mean, let's just talk a little bit about again Evany Zara a little bit. I feel like he got into the game a little bit more this match than he did against New England. So I see some positives coming up there. I definitely miss Alex Ring. I definitely miss Alexander the Great. There is no denying that man holds the midfield together. But Afori, I think, did just fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, he one of those players where you're not hearing anything bad and you're not hearing anything overly, ecstatic. So for me, if you're holding it down and you're doing your job, if it's quiet, that's not a problem. But again, definitely Alex Ring just brings a totally different element to the midfield. Once he comes back and we start getting into a groove, this team's going to be able to roll a lot more easily.
Yeah, no, for sure. And props to Maxime Chanot for taking on the captain's arm. And he had himself a pretty good game. Just the defense had a pretty good game. They did have that ridiculous lapse in the first couple of minutes where, again, dude, just going on defensive tactics here. Zonal defense on corners does not work for us. When in God's name are we going to figure that out?
I don't know. I don't love the zonal defense just because you allow that free runner to come in and pick a spot that's open. Whereas if you're man marking, you've got somebody on everybody, and it makes that exactly. And then I think it's a little harder to miss an assignment rather than not being able to focus on your entire area that you need to cover.
Well, that's the thing,
because
dude,
people can get in there so easily.
You look at that corner. That ball came in. Who the heck scored? Oh my God, I'm like totally missing out here. Who scored it? It was
Balding Mohawk Man.
That's right. Jefferson Quintana scored it. Dude, the guy there was 4 defenders on him. And when you play zone like that, it's almost like you think somebody else is going to pick up that zone, and then you've got 4 guys that completely don't even give him a challenge.
Nope, they just all stand and look at each other.
It's really unfortunate. Eric is saying we are not focused at the start of every game, and it really catches us sometimes. This is one of those times where we were 100% caught. Harrison is asking any news on Villa. Unfortunately, not. We don't have any news on him.
I think last I checked, it might have. I think it's not a. I don't think it's related to the calf.
It is not.
I think it's the groin.
Yep.
And in that event, we're lucky that we're not playing until the 11th. You get an extra little bit of time off there and a little bit of time to regroup, and we'll let you know when we hear something. But it's probably not going to be until later on in the week.
Yeah. Dave here saying it's a groin injury, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more info as time goes on. Dude, before we get more into the offensive attack of this game, because it's really going to be fun to talk about, there's one more person we got to talk about, and that's old number 1, Shawn, Mother Evan Johnson. Dude, the man had an absolute game, 9 saves. Dude, just incredible match for Shawn Johnson.
I mean, you watch some of these European games where these keepers make 2-3 saves tops. To make 9 is incredible. And to not only to make 9, but to make like 4 or 5 of those the way he did. I mean, the free kick was absolutely ridiculous. To be able to stop that one, which was great. He's standing much taller this year, it looks like. I mean, that header, I can't really blame him for, because, I mean, at that close distance with no defense, I mean, what are you going to do? The guy's only so big and the net's 24 feet wide, so that I can't fault him for. But, I mean, he just this game was very much reminiscent of the Galaxy game last year, where he had 7 saves.
Yeah.
And we managed to get the points out of that game as well. This was he is just lights out, and he's playing way out of his mind right now. And I hope that continues. I mean, he's definitely one of those guys that where the confidence keeps building, he plays better and better.
Here's what I'm noticing, and I've had this conversation with our friend Martin Beal, and I want to get to some of these comments because as soon as I said Shawn Johnson, blip, 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 comments started popping through. So keep those comments coming, guys, and keep hitting that like button if you liked Shawn Johnson's performance the other night. But he looks like a different keeper this year from last year. You know, there was the one play, I think it was off of it was either a corner or a cross where, you know, he came off of his line to really punch the ball out. And, you know, dude, last year we did not see him come off his line nearly as much as we've seen him do so far in the first 5 matches of this year's season. It's just he's really growing as a keeper, and his confidence is just getting better.
Yeah, he's definitely more aggressive, and I think he's a little bit more sure of himself, which allows that, you know, when you're aggressive and you go out, it gives you the ability to make that punch, to make that catch, you know, to get the ball out of harm's way. It's really fun to watch. I mean, it's a little scary at times, but to see him make the save after save is just knowing that you've got a guy like that back there. It makes you a little bit more calm in your gameplay.
Absolutely. Just to get to a couple comments here. Christian is saying Shawn John is responsible for that win last night. Yes, I 100% agree with that. I'm sure you do as well, dudes. Just keeping the goals out of the net. They don't win that game without Johnson in net on Saturday. Plain and simple, says Daniel. John is asking, does Shawn Johnson deserve a chance for the U.S. men's national team? I think 100%. I think Tim Howard, time to hang it up. Brad Guzan, I think it's time to move on. I think Shawn Johnson could definitely give them a run for their money. And yeah, Jorge is agreeing. He said he won the game for us. Should be considered for the U.S. men's national team. And yeah, I think Eric is saying he deserves a call-up, but I don't want him to miss matches, and I also agree with that as well. So, yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea of who the dude of the match might be this week.
Maybe.
Lauren might have already put it in the Google Doc, but later on we're going to get to that. It has already been chosen. But at any rate, yeah, Shawn Johnson had a massive game, man. 9 saves, just an absolute monster. Had a fantastic game. Just was on his head the entire game.
Yep.
So, on to the goals.
Yeah.
Do we want to watch them again? Because I think they're worth watching, especially that first one.
Put them up there.
And let's go ahead and watch the first goal, the Tinner Boom.
New York City have 5 in the box, a couple just outside it here for this corner from Morales. Oh, there's a fine volley, and what a strike from Tinnerholm! Full-blooded. The Swede strikes. It's a goal worthy of any match.
Well, and what Salinas is arguing about here, when this ball's delivered, you have to watch Alexander Cayens. Watch Cayens at the top of your screen with Danny Houston along with Angel Herrera, and because they're standing there, that didn't allow the San Jose defenders to get to the top of the 18.
What a goal. Oh, my God, what a goal. Set piece, beautiful corner, back post, just, oh, my God. It's a pretty one.
It's a good one. Listen, that's 2 in a row from similar areas, and the ball just gets caught right under the crossbar. Listen, it's nice to know that you have a person with the ability to do that, because a lot of games we're going to have that opportunity, and having a guy that's able to do that and not put the ball 60 yards over the net. I'm signing up for that.
Can we also just say that he was playing at left back?
Right. Left.
Because Ben Sweat had some flu-like symptoms as far as what we know. Steven is saying it's not easy to hit a ball in the air going that fast. It's not. And listen, he scored a very similar goal in the home opener, right, with his left foot, and now he does it with his right foot. The man can score on any foot as long as it hits the crossbar.
Yeah, listen, I'm just glad he's on our team because listen, a guy who's got the skills to play defense well and have the offensive prowess to get a shot on net from outside the box, he's going to be the guy that's out there. He's going to get deep, but he's going to funnel back. He's going to be that guy. He's going to be in those spots. So for me, if you can put the ball on net, anything can happen at that point. Let's just say that ball hits the crossbar and comes back out. You've got 5 or 6 guys that can put the ball on the net.
Yep.
So it's worth it. And keeping the ball driven a shot like that, it's hard to stop. The keeper's definitely not ready for it because he's worried about the 16 guys in front of him and where the ball might be coming from in there. So I love the way he plays. I love his style. Left back or right back, I don't really care where he plays. As long as he continues to have confidence to shoot the ball and to play defense the way he's playing, I've got no issues with him whatsoever.
5 games into his NYCFC career, is Tinnerholm already the best fullback in team history, is asking Daniel Patrick. Well, he hasn't played 5 games, but I would say he's certainly up there.
If he can keep it going, if he can keep playing like this and he can... Listen, if he ends the season with 4 or 5 goals, I mean, that's bread and butter, baby. I mean, out of your right back, it's going to be impressive.
It's very, very, very good. David is asking, who did it better, Zlatan or Tinnerholm?
Do you want me to answer that truthfully, or...
Cannot argue the circumstances of Zlatan's goals, plural, cannot be ignored. The man comes on, and we're getting a little bit off topic here, but I think he said the Z word, and we need to discuss this a second. The man comes on with 15 minutes left of play. Your team is down 3-2, and the first shot you take is from 40 yards out over the keeper's head, and you tie up the game. Oh, and then a couple of minutes later, you decide to win the game on a header for your team that was down 3-0 in the first half. I'd say Zlatan did it better.
Yeah, just it means a lot, especially for that manufactured rivalry, just because two teams, just great name, by the way, I love it. But listen, rivalries don't come up just because two teams play in the same city or, it's more about the games, and the games have to build in order for, character to amass with these two clubs. And make no mistake, the biggest reason this is now a rivalry is because LAFC was up 3-0 and lost the game.
Yep.
That's what's going to make it a rivalry. You're going to get these games where it's just going to be constant and it's going to snowball. And it's really fun to watch. I mean, I loved it. I mean, that's so exciting. Knowing that guy is going to bring that to every game he plays is going to be fantastic. And it wouldn't surprise me if he finishes up in the top, it's in the top 5 with goals at the end of the season, because no
question.
He loves to shoot the ball and he's so good at it. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric says, thank God we played them already. Yes. And no. Yes and no, because I would have loved to meet Mr. Ibrahimovic. So anyway, back to our boys in blue, because that's really what we're here to talk about, aren't we, dude?
Yes.
So yeah, Anton Tinnerholm, massive game, massive goal to tie it up, and then later on, NYCFC strikes again. Let's watch it.
And this is unbelievable. Tajori Shradi's just... And Morales! He's done it! Wow. Tajori Shradi made it happen with the initial run. Maxi Morales with the deflected shots, and New York City has turned this game upside down.
So there it is. Tajori Shradi passes it off to Maxi Morales, and Maxi gets a fortunate deflection, but still would have put it on target regardless to put the game away. It was what that ended up being. Dude, before we talk about Maxi's goal, let's talk about Shradi a minute, because if the man is not scoring, he's involved. And I wasn't completely sold on him, but he's really, really making an impact on this team.
He's one of those guys that just needed a few games to get acclimated and figure out who was playing where. You saw a lot less of the head turning left and right, trying to figure out who was open. Just more comfortable, was able to see the play developing. Listen, he holds the ball well. He gets in position very well. He plays down the flanks extremely well. He can get the shot when you need him to. He'll switch off and play wherever you want him to. Uh, just looking very, very solid. And if you can get a guy like that on the side of David Villa and Jesus Medina, I mean, the possibilities are endless with these guys. I mean, it's just unbelievable. That was a great run of play. The ability to put a great pass to Maxey and pick him out there was fantastic when you could have crossed the ball deeper and whatnot. But for me, he's playing extremely well, and I don't think you move him out of the lineup at all. I think you keep him in there as long as possible. As long as he keeps playing like this and doing things well, there's no reason for you to move him.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. And guys, I want you to start dropping those comments about Tajuri Shrady or Shradi. We can't pronounce anybody's name correctly. I don't know how to do it. We got to get Mark Fratto. We got to get Mark to come on the show and do a player by player pronunciation guide.
Would be helpful.
That would be amazing. Anyway, I think we see. This is my opinion here, but Shradi over Wallace needs to become like a hashtag and a movement and a tifo and like everything involved, because what Shradi has shown us out of the matches that he's played compared to Wallace, night and day. It's absolutely night and day. And I want to know what you guys think as we discuss this. Leave those comments and let us know what you think about that. Shradi over Wallace.
That's a good. I'm okay with that. I think Wallace brings a defensive factor into it, which is nice because towards the end of a game, if you want more defense, but you still want the ability to push up the field and get a goal if necessary, I think Wallace is a man that could help you do that. Just because he can track back and play defense well, but he can get forward and move around and create some chances. I just have seen more from Shradi these last couple of games than I did from Wallace most of last season. So for me, I'm sticking with the hot hand and stick with what works.
That's right. No, exactly. Christian is saying Shradi is greater than Wallace. It's a no-brainer. Even Vieira knows it at this point. I mean, yeah, the dude is he's putting up goals. He's putting up assists. That's what you want. Rod is asking, has Shradi's performances just buried Lewis? I don't know what's going on with Jonathan Lewis. I mean, there's lots of talks going on about him, but yeah, I just think this is like one of those mixed discord kind of situations where something's going on either in training. There's either an attitude thing, and look, dude, Daniel's already started the Shradi over Wallace hashtag, so it has begun.
Commence.
And Amanda is saying Lewis never gets love, but we need to know why. Why do you think that is, Amanda? Like, this is not, he got love from us when he was on the field, so I don't know where the disconnect is.
Yeah, I don't know either because he's very valuable. The speed at the end of the game is very valuable. The ability to take shots. Exactly. So we're just as clueless as everybody else as to why he's not even chosen for most of these games. Not even a thought. I mean, I felt like the games he's been part of the bench, he's just been there to fill a space. I don't really know what the issue is. If it's a maturity thing, I don't know how you make the kid grow up. I mean, he's just a kid. What are you gonna possibly do? The kid just wants to play, and I'm sure he's okay with a role off the bench. But again, you got to find a way to get these guys minutes to keep everybody fresh because it's a long season and playing guys 90 minutes every day, every game day that is, it's down the end of the stretch is going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just Christian is saying that it must be something going wrong in training. Vieira is a stickler for that. Yeah, I mean we've seen that. We've seen that with players in the past. We've seen it. Several times, right? So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a youth thing. I don't know if it's an attitude thing. It's certainly not a skill thing because we've seen him do things late in the match that have just been absolutely game changing. So yeah. I mean, it's a great, it's a great, a comment, Amanda, and it's something that we're going to continue to talk about. And as long as Jonathan Lewis is on our roster here, let's see what we got here. Maybe he roots for Tottenham. That's Jorge. Oh my God.
That's it.
Yeah. Rodrigo is saying Jesus needs to grow some huevos and take shots. I know he's capable.
Cojones.
Yeah, we didn't really see much from Medina. Except, and this is funny as I'm saying this, Eric is saying, what about that Medina Maxi time wasting at the end? I loved every second of how cheesy it was. So there was that, just bouncing the ball off of each player, getting the ball out of bounds, getting a throw in, bouncing it off of them again. Just, I think we need to see a little bit more from Medina, but I think part of that is the constant switching between him and Shradi. You see them switching sides off a lot, and it's like he almost can't get his bearings where he's at, like if he's got space, Medina's dangerous. But as soon as you put him up against one or two defenders where, Jack Harrison, we talked about it too while we were watching the game, Jack Harrison would literally run at a guy and Medina kind of wants to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, I think for me that's the biggest comparison I can make between the two, where Jack was very much Adam challenging, I'm going to run at you. If I'm one-on-one with you, I'm going to do what I can to beat you. And Medina's very much a pass-first type guy as it stands right now. I've seen him run at guys before. I've seen a lot of his highlights where he'll make runs, and I think you need to be that aggressive. You definitely need that in players. The problem is that when a guy makes a run like that, nobody's really there to help him. We saw it a lot in this game where Shradi's getting deep in the corner and there's no one there to help him.
No outlet.
You've got to realize as a midfielder, if your forwards are busting it and getting down the field, you've got to do something and get yourself available. And not everybody can get in the box and leave them alone. You have to give them some sort of an outlet in order to facilitate moving around in that third rather than coming all the way back. Because it's too far to go to reset. It's not necessary. I would personally like to see a little bit more speed involved. I want to see certain plays where Johnson gets rid of it. He makes a good save. All of a sudden, turn the play around and go fast. Just throw a little bit something different. You're not changing your style of play. You're just incorporating one or two specific plays where everybody's going to bolt downfield because you've got numbers that way. And it's great because you still have to keep track of the defense for the offsides and whatnot. But for me, you've got to be able to do multiple things. And again, we've seen two first halves of games where we're trying to force things and it's not going our way, and yet we keep doing it. And when you see a counterattack develop and you get a goal off of it, it's like, oh, you should kind of do this a little bit more. And so I want to see more of that. I don't want to see plays stifled because you've got to get in position in case you have to get back. I want to see guys find space, make their own space, be creative and get down the field and try to stay there as much as possible. Because we've learned when we stay in our own end, any kind of mistake ends up being an immediate scoring chance.
Yep. Yeah, no. And dude, we saw it a little bit too with Jack Harrison when Jack Harrison would get pinned in the corner and he would have no help. So
even
that's something that hasn't
Villa get into.
That's something that just hasn't that it really hasn't changed. I mean, again, we're trending up. 5 games unbeaten is still, nothing to sneeze at. But then again, we still haven't really played an opponent that has given us, I don't want to say a run for our money, but we haven't played against Red Bull. We haven't played against Atlanta or LAFC or Columbus or Toronto. We've got some big teams coming up as opponents, which can cause some serious trouble for us. So yeah, these are the games to work out those kinks. These are the games to test things out, test out the set pieces, test out the counterattacks, and be able to pull them off in situations like we're going to be up against pretty soon.
Yeah.
This is something we always have to talk about. Eric is saying best goal differential in the league and barely with Villa's help. Never thought it was possible. Dude, we've scored 10 goals so far this season. Oddly enough, we've scored 2 goals a game. And only 1 out of our 10 was scored by David Villa.
Right. So there's 2 ways you could look at this. You look at it as, great, other people aside from David Villa are scoring. Great, you need that. You absolutely must have that. Now, Villa also hasn't had the possibility of getting any goals because he hasn't really played. He's missed, 3 games already?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are we having the same conversation if he's on the field for those 3 games?
What do you mean?
Do you think that these other players are going to be scoring those goals if he's on the field, or are they going to be trying to get him the ball a little more frequently?
Well, you look at the first couple of games of the season where, we scored 6 goals and 1 of them was David Villa's and 5 of them weren't. So, they were doing a fairly good job because he played what? He played only the first 2 games.
Right.
Right? Am I wrong about that? We need a fact checker. Somebody get a fact checker. Did David Villa play 2 or 3 games? I think he just played 2.
I think he just played 2. Yeah, he missed 3. He missed 2 with the
That's
calf.
right. He missed the last home game and the last 2 away games, right? So, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, look, dude, out of the first 4 goals of the season, David Villa scored 1 of them. So, 75% of our goals at that point were not scored by Villa. So, I don't know. That's a really tough question. I would like to, here's what I would like to see. If David Villa's on the field, I'd like to see more than 2 goals in a game. I'd like to see a 3, 4, 5 spot put up instead of these 2-goal games, because you look at what happened. Look at what happened with the Red Bulls and Orlando. That game ended up in a 4-3 win to Orlando in the last minute. You're going to need games where you can score more than 2 goals, and I think David Villa certainly provides that in clutch.
Sure, absolutely. You want to see some type of combination where you're getting a good ratio from both sides. You're getting people who are David Villa and people who are not David Villa.
Most people are not David Villa.
You've got to get those two to be, not so much close together, but if he's going to put in 15 to 20 goals in a season, these guys are going to have to come up with it. And it can't just be constant reliance on one person, because you realize that when he's not there, other people are going to have to do the job. And now, luckily for us, other people have stepped in. But when he's on the field, everybody needs to have that same mentality. You can't treat him special because he's David Villa.
Yeah,
we've got
some conversation going on about this in the comment threads here, starting off with Coco. This time without Villa has probably given the team confidence that they could do it without him. I mean, they have been able to do it without him. Right. Steven is saying it would be cool to have a blowout for certain, a less tense game, and here comes RSL. That would be tremendous. But then Eric is saying, I think his presence alone makes the team pass to him because of their confidence in him. His absence makes them look somewhere else, which is very interesting too. And then Coco, again, Lewis is saying, how far can that confidence without Villa take us, though? Only time will tell. I mean, ultimately, you want him back. You want him healthy. And then Coco finally says, when he's back, let's go from 2 goals per game to 4, okay? I'm good with that. I'm totally fine with that.
I'm good. Take those.
But I mean, you can look at it both ways, right, dude? Like, you look at the team as more confident now, spending some time without him, and when he comes back, is that going to be magnified, or is it going to be, oh crap, he's back, we got to pass to him?
And that's what I think is going to be.
That'll be interesting.
That's going to be our story eventually, because it's really going to come down to these guys. They're going to have the same mentality they have now, where, excuse me, He's another player, and he has the ability to do things on his own. And if it were him or anyone else there, if he's open, get him the ball. He'll be able to create on his own from wherever he is. But you've got to be able to not be afraid to take shots when you're available. Because, look, Maxi, take a shot and it deflects in. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it'll be interesting. I hope he's healthy. I hope he's healthy for the next match. We have a little bit of a break here, about a week and a half before the next match or so. But we certainly hope to see him back healthy to see what they can turn up. I want to see the 4 spots. I want to see the 5 spots up because it's been a while. It's been a while since we had a 5-goal game. The last one that I remember was the Colorado Rapids match, maybe at home 2 years ago.
That's 5, yeah.
Right. I think that from my count, that's the first one that I can recall. I mean, I'd like to see that again. If we're going to be that offensive powerhouse, we got to put some more goals in, right? So, Listen, dude, let's quickly get into the dude of the match here, because we're coming up on time here. And listen, guys,
you want it quickly?
Just put it in. I want the comments. I want the affirmation of who the dude of the match was for NYCFC against San Jose Earthquakes this past weekend. If it's Shawn Johnson, let us know in the comments, and smash that like button or the heart button for Shawn Johnson. Let us know if you thought it was him that's going to win dude of the match for this week, and here they come.
It's also not available for anyone other than Shawn Johnson.
There is also nobody that has even come close. Here's the thing: we can make this a conversation, dude. If Shawn didn't make the saves, not necessarily not make the saves, but the shots weren't put on him, you can make a big argument for Tinnerholm, or you can make a big argument for Schrade for the game-winning pass, or Maxey for the game-winning goal, right? But
sure.
I think what kept us in this game and where the conversation really has to go is that Shawn Johnson kept the points out of San Jose's hand, literally.
Yeah, no, that's the main reason. When you see how many shots were on goal that could have went in, you realize that the game is 6-2, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
That game is over. The fact that you were able to keep it at 1, with 9 saves, I mean, that's a big difference. And that's a main reason why. As long as your keeper gives you a chance to win games, that's all you can ask of them.
Yeah.
Really.
Jorge is
whether
saying,
they give up 1 goal, it's just whatever they can do to keep you in the game is their job.
Jorge says Johnson makes Buffon blush. Nobody makes Buffon blush.
No, I'm sorry.
Except Buffon.
Yeah. Listen, again, you're talking about a guy who's 40 years old and has done everything except win the Champions League. So I would still probably take him on this team, to be honest with you.
Is this accurate? Somebody find out if this is accurate. Steven is saying that Shawn Johnson leads the league in saves. Let's find out if that's accurate or not. And really quick, dude, Eric is saying, and Chanot, I feel, is always our unsung hero. I give Chanot a lot of praise. I think he makes our back line better. There's a reason why he was given the captain's armband, and I don't think he's unsung at all. I think we sing his praises quite frequently, right?
Yeah. At the same time, though, you're getting a lot of grit out of him. You're getting a lot of meat and potatoes constantly every game. You're not seeing him like excel above and beyond and then come back down to earth. Like, he always plays at 110%, and it's kind of like that high level is the norm now. So it's like you come to expect it. So it's not like talked about as much because, hey, he does it all the time.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, Shawn Johnson leads the league in saves with 21 saves. This is kind of funny. So Stephen Parks Bell made the claim, and then Stephen Berg backed it up. So this is a tale of two Stevens.
A tale of two Stevens.
Amanda is also saying confirmed. He has 21, and Matt Lamson from Minnesota has 20. So, dude, Shawn Johnson, due to the match, that's it. The conversation's over. The man has won it all. Number 1 on the field, number 1 in our hearts. Shawn Johnson, you are episode 96 is due to the match. Lauren, update that Google Doc, please.
It's already been done.
It was done Saturday night. We weren't even going to give you guys a chance to say anybody else. It's just the way that goes, right? So there you have it. So listen, before we wrap it up, guys, please smash that like button one more time and let us know that you like what you guys are seeing, what you guys are hearing. It's been a great 5 matches for NYCFC. Best start that we ever had. 5 unbeaten. You guys have been great coming onto the show and enjoying this with us. Thank you, Lauren. She's already done with the with the Google Doc. It's an interesting point Daniel's making. Is that a worry? He's facing too many shots. I don't think you want to be lumped in with Minnesota's defense. I think it's okay. I think, you're going to get shots taken on you. I mean, look, that's part of your job as a keeper. But I don't think our defense is that leaky.
No, I think a lot of those shots are coming from further away.
Yeah. Dude, free kicks, shots outside of the box.
Yeah, for sure. And a couple of those were kind of soft. A couple of ones that kind of, didn't have enough juice on them and kind of rolled in. Some are right in the old breadbasket. So it's that's something that needs to be explored as the next couple of games go on and see. You got to take into account shot location, probability of that location going in because of who's playing defense in front and things like that. He's had some point blank saves where they should have gone in. I mean, it's been ridiculous. So again, you don't want to give up the most shots, but it's also nice to know that the fact that, you've got a guy back there who's willing to do everything to keep the ball out of the net.
Yeah, he is a shot stopper, and that's who you want back there for that reason. So, not that it's okay to take shots on him, but if they do wind up getting through, you've got a man back there who's the brick wall, right? So, dude, listen, right before we wrap up, you're wearing one of our brand new Dudes in Blue designs off of the Dudes in Blue shop. Thank you guys who have ordered shirts so far. You guys are awesome. You've got Fear the Beard back there. You've got...
Shift them over here. We got Alexander the Great.
Yep, beautiful.
We've got the captain here. Let me see if I can move this for you guys. We got the captain.
Yeah.
Got a little beard fearing, although maybe we're fearing the beard that he's actually playing. Like, oh no, he's actually there. I'm afraid we're gonna lose. But listen, guys, it's really fun. There are so many player designs out there that we have so far. We've got a couple of show designs like this where it kind of mimics secondary kit. I love this. This is like my favorite.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Man, I love it. But check it out. If you want to get something, it's pretty cool. They're pretty decent quality. We're going to work on getting more stuff as we move along here and see what people like, people don't like. If you have any suggestions, if you want something to be in a sweatshirt and we don't have it, let me know. We could arrange for it.
We can make it happen. Steven is saying fear the first touch, not the beard.
There you go. I should put like cement shoes on the bottom of the shirt.
That's right.
But seriously, guys, if you're interested, these shirts really only go for like I think $12.95.
$12.95, something like that. Yeah.
A majority of the t-shirts go for like $13. So I don't know where else you're finding an NYCFC themed shirt.
Right. Dude, Jorge keeps asking about stickers. Can we get the man some stickers?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to someone this morning about stickers, so I'm actually working on that. Yeah, stickers. Everyone loves stickers.
We got to figure out how to get this sticker thing done. But in the meantime, to hold you over while we get stickers, head over to dudesandblue.com. Check out the store. Let us know if you like some of the designs. Stephen Parks Bell, I believe in Jesus. ... Medina.
There you go.
It's too bad he's not a keeper. You know, Jesus saves.
Jesus
like,
saves.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's the greatest one.
Amanda is saying, I am working on Jesus Take the Wheel. We've got plenty of designs coming for you guys. We hope you enjoy the ones that are out there now. Look, guys, it's our way of asking for a little bit of support for the show. You guys get to wear a cool shirt that we design. It's our stuff. You're not going to be able to find it anywhere else except for dudesandblue.com, so we just appreciate it. It helps keep the show going. You guys are awesome that have bought so far. We do appreciate it. Go check it out, dudesandblue.com. And give us a follow. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at dudesandblue. So, dude, I think we've come up to the point of the show where it's just time to go because, we've been on here for 52 minutes, and I know these people are like, all right, guys, it's time to go. I want to thank you guys all for the birthday wishes at the beginning of the show. Just really final shout-outs here to Daniel, to Amanda, to Jorge, to Angela, to Kara. Hey, my wife's here. Hey, what's going on? To Steven, to Eric, to Rod, to everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode number 96. Dude, I hope you have a very happy birthday tomorrow. And if you're listening to this... if you're listening to this, whoa, hello, big logo. If you're listening to this on the podcast, our birthdays have passed, and you missed it. So, shame on you.
You missed it.
Shame on you.
Oh man.
Well, dude, it's been a good episode, episode 96. We're 4 more episodes away from 100, guys. 4 more episodes away. You guys are awesome. Thanks again. Smash that like button one more time. Let people know you like the show, and we will be back here next Monday night. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Facebook Live for episode number 97. Oh, and dude, because we're playing on Wednesday the 11th.
Yes.
Because we're playing on Wednesday the 11th, we are going to be having another show. So episode 98 will be on Thursday night, April 12th, 8 p.m., right here, Facebook Live, to cover the match. That's RSL match, right?
Yes. And the reason we do that, guys, is because come Monday, a lot of this stuff is like old hat, and you've already discussed it, and it's just people have to reach back in their memory, and so much stuff goes on. So we figured everyone's emotions will be fresh on Thursdays after Wednesday games. So, and it's also really difficult to talk about two games in one episode. Without dragging it on.
What one game did, right?
2 hours, yeah. So, we're gonna try to do, when there's Wednesday games, and there's a weekend game too, we're gonna try to bring you these midweek episodes. This way we can kind of get, we don't miss anything.
Yeah, so it's nice and fresh. So, guys, thank you again for the birthday wishes for Anthony and I. It's odd that him and I have, always a day apart. It's always the same thing, a day apart. I'm the second, he's the third. So
Yeah, it's always like that, isn't it?
it's pretty much going to be like that forever.
It'd be more odd if it was 2 days apart after all these years.
It keeps growing. The gap keeps growing. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to 96. Make sure to give us the follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. Make sure to leave us a review on iTunes and on Facebook if you like what you see and or hear. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Until next Monday night, stay blue.
Enjoy.